Well, good morning. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and today is January the 6th. It is a Monday, 2024, and I am still in McClaney. I think I butchered that name, but about 5-10 miles to the west of Baldwin, which is just a little ways west of Jacksonville, Florida. I'm at the Holiday Inn Express over here, and going to do a straight razor shave. Today is day number, depending upon how you count them. The breakdown occurred on afternoon of Friday. The 3rd, didn't get to the hotel until well after midnight on that Saturday morning of the 4th, and so Friday night going into Saturday morning, Saturday night at this hotel, last night Sunday night. So I've been 3 nights in this hotel, so you might call this the 4th day. You calculate and you tell me. I'll be smarter if you do. So with that said, I'm sitting here waiting. I knew nothing was going to happen over the weekend. The best that they would do would push a button to order a part for the truck, the oil pan, and then they've got to wait for somebody to go pick it up off of a shelf in some distant location, perhaps Atlanta, perhaps Chicago, wherever those things come from, and get it shipped over here. It may arrive tomorrow, it may arrive on Wednesday, it may get installed on Thursday, it may get installed on Friday. So there's no telling. I could be here until Friday, I could be here a week from today. But it is what it is, and we endure the duration. So let's introduce the equipment for today. I believe this is a William, let's see if I can get some light on it, F.W. Engel, Solingen, Germany, leader, and it is just a beautiful, it's a 4/8. It's got bluing on the tang and shank here. Look at those nice variegated colors on the scales with the bolsters well intact. Not a thing wrong. I wouldn't call this mint by no means, but it's certainly in excellent condition. And happy to have this in my collection. Now this is going to be an exercise in size doesn't matter. 4/8, likely honed up on a Arkansas stone. That is to say, when I say Arkansas stone, here's what I mean. I go through my Shapton glass progression, whether I start at the 500 or the 1,000, or sometimes even the 2,000 or 4,000, and then work my way up 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, sometimes even 30, and then come back to the Arkansas stone, whether it be the true hard, the hard black, or the translucent. This one, I have no idea. So, but it's one of those. It could be very well be, because I interchange the Arkansas with the Zulu gray regularly when I hone, especially back 2, 3, 4 years ago, when a lot of these were originally honed by me. I'd sit there with the Arkansas, and then I'd grab the Zulu and never look back at it. And so a lot of these haven't been touched in the last 3 or 4 years. Anyway, my brush, I heard somebody mention this brush maker, one of our usual group, Wild West Brushworks. Got a nice little coin doodad in the bottom of the handle. Nice, interesting colors of blue and green and yellowish and orangish and so forth. It's a flat top knot. I haven't identified, and nobody has told me. This was given to me as a gift, as a Christmas gift in one of the forums that I participated in years ago. And I am under the impression that this is a mix Badger synthetic, because it just doesn't feel 100% like some Badger. I could be completely wrong, but it does to me feel like some sort of a mixture maybe. But it tends more toward the Badger than it does the synthetic, but it just doesn't feel 100% like a Badger. So I'm confused. And our soap, again this morning, is the Barrister Man Spice. And I just usually carry one soap with me in a tub when I'm on the road. I always carry with me my C.O. Bigelow in a tube. And I might mix these this morning, because if you remember the last shave, it did not lather to my satisfaction. It's got a very pleasant scent with the spice. And I'm not going to put a lot on the brush. It didn't lather easily, and I may have put too much soap on the brush last time. I don't know, but it came off awful pasty. Had a nice hot shower this morning. Had a good breakfast downstairs in the continental breakfast. And I suspect I'll be in the, like I said, I don't think they're going to get anything done on the truck until the middle of the week, by Wednesday at the earliest. No, there's no lathering on this. All you can see is just the soap just kind of smearing around on the face, and that does not appeal to me. But it's not like I'm going to throw the dish away either. So we'll use it up and not buy any more. But I find it interesting. It's got this omnibus base to it, yeah, and while I'm not liking this, I like the Seville that has the same base to it. So who knows why things work the way they do. Because older I get, I have no clue. Whether it comes with soap, shaving soap, or mechanics in repair shops. Yeah, or anything else much in life. So All right, let's see here. Let's do this. Got too much junk. I haven't used this razor in a while. Of course, my rotation being what it is, it's easily a good 4 to 6 months before I get to things. And if I'm going to be here another several days, I'm going to use the 2 razors that I brought with me again, because I've stopped carrying a full 7-day roll-up with me. It's just, maybe I've gotten too cautious in my older age, but to me, it's just too dangerous. If I have an accident, a serious accident, and my cab of the truck gets destroyed and my personal gear gets strewn out all across the highway, I don't want to lose a 7-day roll-up. So losing a couple of razors, old vintage razors that may or may not be easily replaced by going to eBay, is of less concern to me than losing an entire 7-day roll-up. So there's that. And you know, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way, that your straight razors, whether they're old vintage or whether they're new production, whether they're what we'll say good condition, excellent condition, mint condition, whatever condition, they're genuinely precious to you. And nobody wants to see those things that are genuinely precious to them, you know, destroyed. And so they, you know, most people take steps to minimize whatever destruction risk there may be. And that's all perfectly understandable. And these first few strokes here are just fabulous. It feels very much like a Arkansas edge as I'm getting started here this morning on this thing. Dripped off the razor into my hand, scoop back up on the razor, then back onto the brush. That's a little thing I do with my soap, is that once I've shaved it off and it's on my razor, I put it back on my brush for reuse. Too much good stuff there to just let it plop back into the water, wipe it off into a rag, and discard it. No, it's still got some life left to it. Well, I can say that I've been catching up on my sleep real good. I've had Saturday and Sunday laying in the bed watching TV and napping. Not much else to do while waiting on the truck. So this is a good demonstration that size does not matter. This is a little 4/8 razor with an Arkansas edge, and it's shaving as good, every bit as good as a large 8/8 razor, 7/8, 6/8. It doesn't matter. It's the edge. It's always the edge that matters, and that would be true for wedge razors as well, especially, I say especially, but all wedge razors. I'm thinking of older vintage like Wade and Butcher and Frederick Reynolds. I don't know if I'm sounding any better in my sinuses and talking than the last video, but I do feel nominally better. I do feel like the congestion is breaking up. I've certainly had significant discharge. Over the last couple of days, and especially yesterday. So I do believe I'm on the mend. I can't say that I'm, well, I won't say, I was going to say, I can't say that I'm feeling any better. But I'm all right, I guess. I've never been a real high energy kind of person. And that would certainly be true over the last 10, 15 years, when basically all I've ever done is sit behind the wheel of a truck and drive a truck, and that doesn't take exactly a lot of high energy. You sit there and press your foot on the pedal or press the cruise control, which I don't have right now in my truck, a cruise control that is. Oh, sorry, that come out wrong? A little bit of a sensitive subject with me right now. No cruise control, figure. Nor an engine brake, nor a working air conditioner. Major systems in a truck that really ought to be working. And equally important, a working engine brake, or jake brake as they're called, for going down hills in mountainous regions. Now, one thing I can say about this soap, it is extremely slick. It's on my fingers, and you got to get it off your fingers before you commence shaving. Very nice. It's the edge that matters, not the size of the razor. Most everything about a razor, other than the edge, is about decoration, design, what appeals to the eye, whether it's size or shape or sculpting. All the little bells and whistles that we like and appreciate, and those are all important for decoration and design. What matters is the edge, and that's why whether it's a razor like this, 4/8 Ingalls, out of the golden age of straight razor manufacturing, or something a little bit older, like this George Wostenholm that I use for a head razor, for my head shaves, and you can see the signs of aging and pitting and rusting, and somebody's done some work on this. In fact, I did some work on this because the condition that I received this was deplorable. And let me tell you the story. I've told the story a few times, but not a lot. But my one of my shop managers at my former company had learned that I was into vintage, traditional, old-fashioned straight razors, and he came to me and said, "I've got two razors that my grandfather left me from the 60s. And if you'd like to look at them, I'll bring them and you can look at them. And if there's anything you can do with them, that would be great." And it was a week or two later, he said, "Hey, I've got them in the office if you want to come look at them." And so, okay, good, fine. And upon seeing them, both of them were almost exactly alike. This one that I've got was originally in horn scales, and the horn scales were chewed up by worms very badly. And the other one was in what I believe to be ivory, original ivory, and both of them were pre-1871, so ivory made, they were butterscotch color. And after I took a picture of it and sent it off to a couple of friends, they all confirmed and agreed that they were likely ivory. And so I wanted to be extra careful with those, but it turned out that they were extremely brittle, and almost my first touch to them, opening and closing, they snapped. One side of the scale snapped. Easily fixed with super glue. But it really was amazing to me just how thin that ivory was. But be that as it may, both of the razors needed sanding, so I took appropriate wet, dry sandpaper, I forget, 500s, 800, 1,000, 2,000. I think the maximum grit I've got is 3,000. I think I used everything I had and got them a little bit, better. Well, about like what you see on mine. And so I took it back to the guy, and he was pleased enough, and he said he'd super glue it and the scales. And he was pleased enough with the work that I had done. And it was not his intention to ever use the razor as a shaving razor. And so he was pleased enough with what I had done, and that was it. And he gave me this other one as a gift in return for working on the other one. Okay, good. And so I sent this one off to one of our fellows that we talk about. Matt Lukey. He's got a collection of razors you wouldn't believe, 3, 4, 5,000. He says he's got razors tucked away in boxes he's never even looked at. So he may have vintage diamonds tucked away somewhere. And so he put new scales on it for me. I say new, they're old vintage that are commensurate with the time period and the general condition of the razor. And I was surprised when working with, this has been at least 2 years ago, if not 3, working with this George Wostenholm, that it honed up as well as it did. Shafting glass progression. Yeah, up to 30,000. I didn't take it off onto a natural after that. Did you see my cheating strokes? Doing a little bit against the grain, out of turn. Not too bad, not too bad. Just some ice water there. Well, I'm smelling the soap a little bit better. I couldn't smell it at all yesterday, or day before yesterday. I'm chasing those phantom whiskers that will no doubt recede into the skin after the skin begins to dry out. So I'll let them go. You got to, otherwise you're going to have a bloody lip. All right. I should have brought my head clippers with me to the hotel room, but I forgot them. And it's hard to remember everything when you're in the middle of a breakdown crisis. And you at approximately 1:30 in the morning, after the tow truck arrives at the mechanic shop at the truck stop, and everybody's trying to hurry up and get everything done because everybody's got the same objective you do, and that is to disconnect, get out of there, go home, go to bed, because everybody's tired, and you're tired, and they're tired, and you're trying to hurry, and that's the problem. When you hurry, you forget things. And I will tell you, we forgot to leave an ignition key with the shop, and so I had to go back and give them on Saturday morning, about noonish, 10 o'clock, an ignition key, and an Uber ride round trip was $100. From my location to their location, from their location back to my location, $100. And of course, I know what my boss is going to say. He said, well, why didn't you leave? They didn't say anything about it, and I didn't remember. And there it is. Oh, well, too bad. Sorry. And I am. But what are you going to do about it? Take it out of my pay? I don't think so. Okay, that's it for the face shave. And so, looks like a pretty good shave, feels good. We'll see in about an hour when it begins to dry up. All right, let's do the head. I don't know what it is about some of these soaps, but it's just like somebody dipped their hand down into a grease pan and came up with a big glob of grease in their hand, and it just smears. There's no, and there, it's certainly viscous. It's certainly very slick. But there's just no lather quality to it at all, and I don't like that at all. I don't. You put hot water on it, it will melt down a little bit, but all that does is just increase the viscosity, if I'm using that term correctly. And so I don't think I said at the beginning of the video, but I have it, of course, my last shave was my last video on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. And I had what, 4 days worth of growth on my face, of whiskers, and today, just barely 44 hours. So not even quite 2 days, close enough, but not quite. Okay, I think that's it for the head shave. Simple enough. Let's do the neck. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Just whack it down. Okay, and that was the what was that? It just flew out of my brain. Not Frederick Reynolds, what is this? Well, I can't read it right now because it's so, but I've said it before. Some of you, remind me, if you remember what razor this is, feel free to remind me in the notes. One of the famous English Sheffield brands, and it's not Wade and Butcher, and it's not Frederick Reynolds. It's called, and I do believe it's called an XL Celebrated. Oh, what in the world? Well, I'm not going to fool with it right now. I may look at it off camera and add a note. Oh, let me do this. Osma alum block here. Just enough sting to know that you've actually done something. No, nothing traumatic. Okay, and there's that. Wash it off your hands and face. Don't touch your razors with alum on your hands. Alum will stain carbon steel. Ask me how I know. Okay. That's it. I'm done. Thank you for staying with me. Day number 4 in Breakdown Exile. I'll see you down the road.